Alright, man, I'm back and I'm black. Lord knows it's hotter than the 80s crack pipe in this motherfucker on payday, but you know what? It's all good. I hope everybody day going good, weekend going good. But I'm back with another one, and it's going to be a different edition. I'm going to be doing a American Horror Story breakdown. It's going to be the 5th episode, titled Ba'al. So let's get into it, shall we? So, just to give you some background on the episode, is about a couple who's trying to basically have a baby. They're not able to have a baby. The wife, she's pretty much paid. She's rich. The husband, he is a aspiring actor, right? He's trying to be in the movie industry. So let's break it on down, right? So the scene starts off. They up in the doctor's office, the fertility doctor office, and the doctor's pretty much telling them some bad news. They won't be able to have a child. You feel me? So the wife goes to the secretary to try to. The wife goes to the secretary. She's trying to get another doctor's appointment because she want to have this child, and the secretary tells her that she been seeing her coming here for 2 years. It saddens her, and she wanted to give her a amulet or a deity statue. And the statue is the deity Ba'al, which Ba'al is a Babylonian, Phoenician, Canaanite type of god. And it's a deity of fertility, by the way. But getting back to the story, after that happens, it cuts to a scene where she put that deity statue on her bed, and her husband starts to have sex. Some real hot, heavy, stormy sex, may I add. But so it goes into 16 months within them having a child. And the child is crying. She don't know how to make the child stop. But when she gives her child to her maid, mind you, she's rich. When she gives a child to the maid, the child just stops crying, and it kind of frustrates her. And you know, the maid is kind of telling her, like, you need to, you know, just chill out. You just had a child, whoop, 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 whoop. So it cuts to a scene later on that night. And the mother's in the bed, and she got the baby cam right there so she can look at the child while it's sleeping, while she's sleeping, or whatever. And the child is crying. She looks on the cam. She sees this tall, dark figure, which looks pretty demonic. I'm not going to lie. If it was me, pack it up. Let's put this house on Airbnb. I'm out of here. So while the baby is crying, she goes into a room, and she forgets that she didn't take that deity statue from under the bed and put it into the and take it from under the bed. So she gets the deity from under the bed, and she put it in a box in the closet. So she goes to therapy. The therapy tells her how to deal with her anxiety, how to deal with the crying baby and stuff. And from there, it starts to work. You see a scene where she's bathing her child. The child ain't crying, is laughing, and she putting the child to sleep in the bed. And while the child is sleeping, or just in his crib, she hears it crying on the baby cam. She goes into the room, and that same statue that she put in the closet in the box is in her baby's crib. Not only is it in her baby's crib, that amulet face is kind of morphed into something demonic. It looks pretty scary, I'm not gonna lie. Again, put the house on Airbnb and let's get the fuck out of here. But so she rushes downstairs. She goes to the maid and say, hey, did you put this in the baby's crib? And the maid is kind of like, no, I quit. You know what I'm saying? She left. And during that time, she starts just kind of hearing certain growls, voices, or whatever. So she records some of those sounds on her laptop. She speeds up the sound so she can be able to hear the type of words that it's saying. And the words that are coming from the laptop is, I want him. So at that point, she's freaking out. She go tell her husband, hey, listen to this. The husband listening. He like, nah, I don't hear it. So the husband go tell the therapy what's going on. The therapy come to the house. She listen to it. She's like, I don't hear it. You just hearing what you want to hear, right? So after seeing the demon claws, after hearing the sounds, I want him and all that stuff, she decides to go on Twitter, not on Twitter, but on Google, and Google Ba'al. And she gets a Hebrew Judeo-Christian version, which we also know that Christianity demonizes anything that has nothing to do with Jesus and God. But anyway, she finds out that Baal is a demon, so to say. So she goes to the secretary who gave her that statue and, pretty much asks her, like, what is going on here? What's going on? This is a demon you gave me. And the secretary like, no, this has been in my family for years, but you know what? I know a spell that can banish him. So they go to the house. She pulls out a book of grimoire, which grimoire means a book of spells. She gives her a sword, some type of magical instrument to help out with the spell. The girl takes the book, the magical instrument, and goes home and makes the sigil for Baal and does the spell. So during the spell, you see smoke, you see wind, some of the candles are blowing off, and out of nowhere, the husband just kind of comes up and scares the wife as she's doing it, and she just used that, look at her, she's just gonna mess up my video. Just got your ass all in my shit, okay? But, so she's doing the spell, and the husband pops out of nowhere, kind of scares her, and she stabs him, which put her in an asylum. She gets committed into an asylum. So the husband goes visit her in the asylum, and from there, he was telling her, like, baby, you can come on home, baby. It's empty without you, girl. And she was like, nah, I don't feel right. I'm going to go back when the doctor say I'm straight. And he like, cool, whatever. He walks out, he go to the garage, and this is where things get interesting. As he's going to the car, who's dropped him off or whatever, we notice it's the secretary girl, So he pretty much like, yeah, it's going good. Once we get these lawyers, we're going to get her ass locked up, and we're going to take all this money, baby. And next thing you know, the secretary girl leans over to give my boy a sloppy toppy. So, next scene. It goes into where you see them in the house, him, the secretary, and his friends, and they all like, yeah, hip hip hooray type stuff. And we come to find out that all that shit was staged, right? So the demon that she saw on her camera, that was one of them. The claws and stuff that was in the basement and all that was them. The smoke and stuff that was going through the rituals and stuff, that was them. The secretary was in on it, her long run. Even the little statue that the secretary gave her, they made that, right? So, the husband goes to the back to go check on the child, change his diaper or whatever. And next thing you know, Mr. Baal, the demon, shows up. Mind you, I'm not going to lie, Baal is ripped. Like, this nigga look like a beefed up Jeepers Creepers looking motherfucker, you feel me? But Baal goes and kills all the friends and the secretary, but leaves the husband, which frames him as the killer. So it goes to the point where he's in jail, and the wife goes to visit him, right? So he's telling her everything that happened, like, damn, baby, yeah, we did all that shit. I don't like you, never did like you, I just want your money. And wham, right? Some shit that'll really make you stab this nigga again. But she asking him, like, damn, we married. Like, what's mine is yours. Why would you even do some shit like that? So after even telling her all that, this man got the nerves to even ask her, hey, I still need some money for a lawyer so I can claim insanity, you know what I'm saying? And he's pretty much telling her that that wasn't him that did that. That was an actual demon. Like, that was a demon. You got to believe me. And she just like, forget you, my child ain't got a father, and walks off. So it's going towards the end of the episode, and we see that the demon walks in the room while she's in the room with her child, right? And he's like, release me. And so it cuts to a scene where we see when she was in the asylum, she did the spell again. Now, she did the little, she did the sigil, but she did it in her blood. And come to find out, the banishing spell that the secretary supposed to have gave her was actually a summoning spell, which actually summoned and binded the demon. So, if anybody understands how demonology or summoning spirits, deities, or whatever goes, you can summon it and you have to actually bind it. and you use it to do your biddings, right? But anyway, we find out that she summoned them, and basically Baal did her biddings, which killed all her husband's friends and the secretary. And at the end of the episode, when he's telling her to set me free or release me, she tells him, I'll do it, but you have to give me another baby. And she walks over, and as you see, she finna get her some demon dick. And that's how it ends, y'all. That's how it ends. So a couple of things that I wanted to kind of expound on. When you talk about the deity Baal, right? Now, in a Christian standpoint, any and everything is demonized. Because remember, in order to bring in a new regime, you have to demonize the old regime, right? So when you look at the Baal deity, you understand Baal is a fertility god. He's a god of storm, god of war, blah, 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 right? Which doesn't make him evil. It doesn't even make him a demon. But if you even understand the etymology of Baal, Baal just means Lord, owner. In other words, it can mean husband. So technically, my men out there, if you are in the house with your wife, girl, or whatever, and you bringing home that money, you paying all the bills, you doing what you're supposed to do to keep that roof right, you are the god Baal. Yep, sure is. Another thing, this episode kind of reminded me of King Solomon in the Bible, who was God's most beloved king, one of beloved king. Remind you, God made Solomon the wisest man, or the wisest to ever be born. And we know that scripture-wise, Solomon used 72 demons. He summoned them and he bonded them to his ring, and he used them to do his biddings, right? Which, in my opinion, kind of shows you that everything isn't evil. Even if it's malevolent, if I said that word right, or if it's an evil spirit, by you using it don't mean it's evil. It's only by your intent, by what you're doing with it. So you get into that if you get into the 72 demons of Goetia, and also the King Solomon's The Lesser Keys, where it talks about the 72 demons and it ranks them from powerful to less powerful, so to say. So with that being said, I'm not saying to go fuck with these demons, but I'm saying if you are gonna fuck with these demons, nothing wrong with it. Just know what you're doing. I would say start with the lower demon. Work your way up if you want to. Demons are smart. Always keep it real with the demons. Let them know your intentions, because if they lying, trust me, they're gonna know it. Again, they don't like humans, especially when you're summoning them and binding them and make them doing some earthly things that ain't got nothing to do with them. And much like any other thing, just know what you're doing with it. I seen that they was playing with a Ouija board. Ouija boards ain't nothing to play with, especially if you don't know what you're doing, because you never know what doorway you're opening to let whatever entity or spirit in, right? But for the most part, that'll have to be another video where I'm getting into that type of deeper shit. So yeah, man, that's gonna conclude the video. Like I said, to break down American Horror Stories, 5th episode, Baal. If you haven't checked American Horror Story or the American Horror Stories out, I suggest y'all go do so. It's a pretty dope anthropology series. To me, it's not really scary. It's interesting more than scary. It might be intense in certain aspects, but it's a dope series. But like I said, if y'all like what I did, y'all like what I'm putting down, man, hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit the dislike, comment, or whatever, share it. But I'm trying to get some more videos out here, but enjoy your day and stay safe out there, man. All right, let's get it.